Good morning, everyone. Happy Thursday. It is November 7th. Welcome to this morning's conversion clinic. I am extremely excited to have you all in the space. We're going to get straight into it as we've got a lot of material to cover. We've got some updates that Dan's going to bring to the space from Zillow, the meeting that we had yesterday. We've got a few other programmatic updates, but I want to take us on the field to set the tone for today's conversation, coming from the perspective of a winning mindset. I see some of you guys are driving. Not everyone's face is in the screen, and that's cool. Some of you guys are stationary, but if I can have as much of your undivided attention as we set the tone for our meeting today, that would be greatly appreciated. You guys make up our championship team. We're a championship team. When I say we, I'm referring to Team Fast as a whole. We are a dynasty in the making. And we wouldn't be that championship team without you, the players on the team. And that's the premise that I really want to open up today's conversation with, because we don't become champions by accident, you guys. It requires something specific. And that specific requirement is a deep immersion into a winning culture. We are the winning culture. This space that we've created in the conversion clinic reemphasizes that winning culture. But winning is not about luck. We just don't wake up and luckily become a winner. It's about consistent habits, daily decisions, and a mindset. This morning, you woke up and made the decision, I'm going to attend the conversion clinic at 11 a.m. and I'm going to be sharp because I know that Coach V closes the damn door at 11:10, and no matter how hard I knock or try to kick on the door, it will not open. That was a decision that you made for today. It requires that daily decisions. The decisions that we made yesterday may have an impact on our flow today, but the decisions that we make today are more important than any other decision that we're going to make, because we're living in the now. It's the mindset. I want you to take some time. I have a request of you. If you can, put your attention on the screen. There are several, I don't know, about 30 beautiful and handsome faces on this team. Just take it all in. I'm going to pause for a second because there's power in the pause. The reason that I'm having you take it all in is because I want you to get a dose of connectivity to winners. Why? Because winners have a deep appetite to be around other winners. Why is that? Because success is contagious, you guys. I'll tell you this, winning solves all the problems. When you're winning, life is happier. When you're winning, it's a longer pep in your step. It's a longer stride. Your smile is gleaming a little harder. Your fit is shining a little brighter. Your hair is popping a little bigger, a little longer, a little curlier, a little straighter. Winning solves all the problems. And when you start to get results in this world, people start to look at you a little different. I got a confession to make. I don't know if you guys know it, but we're going to win. I don't know if you can feel it, but we're going to win. I don't know if you can see it, but we will win. And when I say we, I'm speaking of all of us in plurality. And the areas that I'm speaking of winning is in every area of your life. In your personal life, you will win. In your real estate profession, we're going to win. In our conversions, we are already winning and we will continue to win. In your spiritual development, winning. Your money game, winning. I don't know if you can see it. I don't know if you can feel it. But we're going to win, and we're going to win right now. There's no time better than the present to win, because we are a winning team. Got a confession. I get a little emotional when I see you guys winning. When I see Kale's closing her first flex deal, or Demian gaining some traction, or Ilona and Ina pumping, Lisette working her butt off, Chris and Sophia out there in Sacramento dominating, Brett closing deals. When I get these emails that the team is winning, I get a little emotional. Call it what you want to. But that's what winners do. In that space, coming from that context, I want to open the floor up to everyone. Just feel free to raise your hand. It's going to be a quick check-in from the team, but let's talk about some wins from the last week. Who's got some wins that they can report back, they can share with the squad, whether it was a client that was ghosting you that you re-engaged, someone got in the contract, we got some BRBC signed, we were showing clients, we're potentially writing offers. Anyone, please feel free to raise your hand, take yourself off of mute, contribute to the conversation, because in the space of a championship team, winners talk winning. Losers talk about the winners who are winning. So I see a couple of hands come up. I'm hoping to have a few more hands to contribute to the space. But Aaron, share with us a win from the week, my friend.
Well, it's one of the flex deals, and we wrote an offer last week for a Pittsburgh property. It ended up having 24 offers, right? And this was the first house they wrote on, and it was like a punch in the gut. I met them on Sunday after they told us no. We looked at a fixer in Concord that was terrible, and then on Monday I talked to them again after they got off work, and we looked at 3 more properties in Antioch that just hit the market in the last week, and all of them it was amazing. Their price point is under at 500 exactly. And so it's kind of tough, and we had been seeing some houses that were kind of messed up. And Monday we went and like all 3 of the houses were nice. Like some of them were like in the areas a little rougher, but it was a nice, clean house ready to be moved into. And they pretty much liked them all. And then on Tuesday, they asked to write on one of them. So we're waiting to hear back. We got till the 9th to hear back, but I got my fingers crossed that this duet's going to get an accept.
Hey, let's go, Aaron. Now, if you guys don't know, Aaron is new to the Flex team and has hit the ground running, grinding hard. I've gotten direct calls. I think it was last week, I got a call from Jessica, and she asked me if I had a little time, and I'm gonna keep it honest. I felt like I was being set up. I thought I was walking into a trap because she wanted to plug Aaron into the conversation, and I mean, of course, I was joking with him. I'm always going to be accessible as a resource for anyone at any time as it relates to, real estate. But I'm proud of you, man, just for the fact of getting to this point and working your process and plugging those leads into your process, and you're getting to the point of starting to write offers. And the cool thing about momentum is tsunamis start with very small sprinkles, little ripples. It's very barely visible to the eye, and then it turns into.
Well,
So
and to that point also, I would tag that as another win. We haven't really got in a position where we're writing an offer with that person that I teamed up with Jessica on, but that was my first example of kind of coming out of my little island and reaching out to people for help. And
yes.
I have to tell you, Jessica was on it, and it made me feel like, why am I, what am I doing? What am I afraid of? Why am I afraid to reach out to my teammates and ask them for help? Everybody is so willing to jump in and get things done. And so her helping and tapping you in and having a little conference call there made me also realize that I need to spend more time engaged with the team.
Brother, this is a championship team. If you're not plugging into the championship team, then you're unplugged, and we don't operate in silos. We thrive on the perspective that this is a collective wisdom, right? And it's each one teach one. That's the space that we come from. So I'm glad that you're overcoming those mental barriers, because oftentimes we believe the story that we tell ourselves, and more times than not, that story is so far from the truth. And I'm starting to see, I'm super excited to see and to hear your progress, my brother. So kudos to you. Thank you for sharing your win. Keep going. I believe that we have Ilona. Was that your hand is raised? Ilona, sister girlfriend, share with us what your wins have been for the last week.
I got the coolest client last week from Zillow. It is an organization called Just Homes, and they are providing homes to the unhoused in Oakland. And they are a new organization, but they have a whole lot of like funding that they're allocating. And they're also not just providing homes, but they're looking for fourplexes or above, all empty, because they don't want to be displacing anybody. So that is a little bit of a challenge. We did 3 tours yesterday. We looked at 3 commercial properties. I've been dealing with commercial agents because that's just the what they're looking for. And it just was really cool to be touring with the president of the organization, and really like feeling like I can be part of this mission that is going to really help our community. And then also just getting the experience about talking to commercial agents. And, you know, even like I definitely had a commercial agent who tried to school me on all this stuff, but I was open, and I actually learned a lot from him by allowing him to do his egotistical thing, but then just listening to what he had to say to me and how to work with these types of businesses, because, you know, there are a lot of businesses out there that are getting grant money for stuff like this. But what this company is doing is that they're putting together grant money from home, you know, to house the homeless. So for they're getting money for housing people, but they're also getting money for climate change stuff, because their goal is to deliver these units completely climate resistant and like with heat pumps. And like, so the people that move into these homes are going to get 100-year leases or whatever. And they will, it's like a community land trust is what they're trying to purchase under. It's very interesting. So I'm learning a lot, but like, she came from Zillow, and we are, you know, working together now. And so I think that's a big win. Of course, she signed a BRBC. And so I really look forward to, you know, making something happen. We're looking in the 1.5 to 2.5 price point.
Just got the shiveries. Did you guys hear that? Being a part of this space is a blessing. Thank you for sharing that, Ilona. Congratulations to you. I'm looking forward to hearing dope stuff from that. And you know, the relationships that are gonna extend from that, you have no idea what type of open doors are going to be made available to you by being you, being a resource, being a sponge, and then becoming a part of the solution to help them identify some things that are going to create some opportunities in terms of housing. We know housing is a big deal. Every one of us lives in the Bay Area. We see our homeless brothers and sisters out there, you know. So any organization that's mission is built around reaching the unreachable and teaching the unteachable, my heart goes out to them. So Ilona, I know and believe that they're in great hands with you. But there's another piece to that I don't know if you all heard, but this lead came through Zillow, right? 1.5 million potentially. I know Kuhn is close to 2 million. Lisette and I have did 1.25. I'm sure there are plenty of more case studies that reflect the capacity of Zillow Flex. But then at the same time, I've gotten a $159,000 lead as well for a mobile home, right? And Lisette is nodding her head in agreement, because it just seems like we attract those leads for some reason. But you never know. So pick up the phone, because these relationships on the other line are looking for a solution. They're looking to be connected with a real estate advisor to help them accomplish their goal. We don't know what the mission is, but one thing that we do know, the mission is always bigger than us. Ilona, thank you for that contribution. Sierra, is that a hand up? You have a contribution in terms of a win for the week. Let's go.
Hi guys, so I closed my second Zillow deal. We closed on election day, and what was so special about this situation was that these were VA buyers. I've never done a VA, loan, and they were really timid. They really, coming into it, they were like, we want something that's completely done. We were looking for Section 1 cleared already. They end up falling in love, of course, with a house that has no inspection, so it's totally risky. Came into the deal basically saying, hey, we're going to try to work this out. Once we get inspections, you know, we're going to try to make it happen. We end up coming in at purchase price. The sellers covered the termite. That was $26,000. They fixed it before we closed escrow. And there were a lot of like real big unknowns in this situation with the not having any inspections done, having the VA. I mean, all of that. There was a lot of risk, and we worked it out. So I also was working with like a so-called diva realtor on the other side, which whatever, she was fine, but it was just funny hearing like the stories from other people of like, she could be difficult to work with. And I was like, whatever, we didn't have a problem, but I was also like, I was careful, you know, with her because she was an experienced agent and she just seemed kind of annoyed all the time, which is fine. So I was really, really happy for my clients. They bought a house not that far from me, so I get to check on them. And one more thing is that I did have clients there again over the 1 million price point. They're looking for probably like 1.3. They ghosted me with the classic, we're sick and we can't meet you. So many weekends in a row, we just could not meet up. And I was like, are they like really serious? And then all of a sudden, it was like same day, can you meet us at this property? And the thing is that they actually are looking for a rental, an investment property to rent out. And the way that I was able to provide value was basically to tell them about the like how they need to be careful when they have a rental, and you know, having rentals in general in the Bay Area can be challenging. It can be very rewarding, but also just they didn't know any of this information. Of course, every city is different. So I just sent them a little bit of information. We're still looking. They're happy to work with me. And, you know, that's just an example of like somebody that I actually kind of didn't know was going to be there. I just kept tapping on them, you know, hey, how about this weekend? And they were like, no, not going to work, not going to work. I think it was like maybe a month after I got the initial call that we actually ended up meeting, maybe even a little more. So yeah, I mean, it works out. They're wonderful people, excited to work with them. I've closed 2 Zillow deals. Vernon, I'm ready for you to put me back on the team. I know you said not put me back on the team, but
talk about that later. That's the purpose of the one-to-one, Sierra. Why you gonna put me on blast in front of the whole damn team? You don't do that. Congratulations to you, though. Congratulations, Sierra. I'm gonna call on you a little bit later in this conversation if you're still able to be on the call, because what we're going to get into is how do we re-engage those clients, those leads that have ghosted us for some time, right? What's an effective strategy for re-engagement? And it sounds like you have a real case study of a strategy that actually worked. So stay tuned. But gentlemen, this question is strictly for the dudes on the call. Have you ever engaged with a self-proclaimed diva of a female? And is the word annoyance a good adjective to describe that self-proclaimed diva? I mean, I'm just asking, because I heard Sierra say that the realtor was a self-proclaimed diva, but was kind of annoying at the same time. I'm just wondering if us gentlemen on the call have had that same experience.
Man, I had dealt with a queen of Maxwell Park, and that lady was so annoying. Left her sign on the fucking floor. Well, my clients did. I didn't do nothing. My clients lift up her sign and threw her sign in the front yard and said, we don't want to see her no more. So, and then she came back at me tripping. I was like, I don't got nothing to do with it, lady.
I didn't even, I'm gonna say the sign was like that when I got there. I didn't even see the damn sign.
But I do have a question though.
Well, is your hand a question or is it a contribution or both?
Question.
Let's go for it. Let's go.
Yeah, so we partner up with somebody on the Zillow stuff, right? Do we need to be the main agent on the contracts?
When you say, okay,
when we partner up with other people with these Zillow Flex and we're the main, you know, point of contact, we got the lead, and do we need to be the main agent on the contract?
Yes, you do.
Okay.
You need to be the main buyer's agent, and you can have a co-buyer's agent, and what that actual administrative contribution on the back end looks like is between you two. However, you do need to be the lead on the RPA, Coon, because that's the only way you're gonna get credit for it, bro.
Cool.
Okay.
Cool.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that contribution. Man, this is beautiful. I love hearing the wins. See, I don't have to say anything. The winners are.
Vernon, just to clarify, I didn't think she was annoying. She sounded annoyed all the time. She just sounded annoyed, like life was just annoying.
Well, Sierra, generally, if somebody sounds annoying, that's because they're annoying, right? If somebody sounds angry, it's generally because they are angry people. So
Yeah.
thank you for the clarification. I see the chat is going crazy from some of the feedback from the men. And I also see it's not a gender thing either, Jing. I feel you on that. So Jing, you must have had some experiences with some self-proclaimed divas, and annoyance was an adjective that was connected to that self-proclamation. Got it. Let me see. Do we have another hand up, or are we gonna? Alona, you raised it. Is that a new hand, old hand? New one? Rapid fire. What you got for us?
Back to Kuhn's question, Ina and I have had multiple situations, I believe, where she got the lead. We partnered. Because the lead is an Oakland lead, it makes no sense for her to have the lead on her being the main agent, because she doesn't want those leads in her database. You know, she doesn't want a bunch of Oakland sales if she's trying to build her business in Napa. So we make me the lead agent, but I think that everybody still got credit for it when it came to Zillow.
As it relates to Zillow, if it's so in order to get the Zillow is going to, whoever receives the lead is who that profile is going to go under. The lead's going to go under that profile.
That's fine, but when it comes to who's the lead contract, I don't think it makes a difference.
Well, I can speak from Lisette and I's experience, as we partner on most of our deals. And whoever receives that lead and is the lead agent in the RPA is the person who gets the credit for it.
Okay, but what if Ina received the lead, but I am the lead agent and she is the co-agent, because we want the actual sale, which is in Oakland, to show up not on my Zillow Flex account, but on my Zillow account, right? Not Zillow Flex, like working from them in the back end, not that dashboard. I'm not talking about those points. I'm talking about when regular people go onto Zillow and they look at you as an agent and they look at your profile, they can see which houses you sold, whether they came from Zillow or not, okay? So what we've decided for our business, because it makes more sense for those Oakland properties to show up on my account, and it makes more sense for North Bay or Napa to show up on her account, so that when new clients come, they see, oh yeah, I'm working with this agent who is actually has all these sales in Napa. So I'm just wondering, even though we get credit, we both get paid. The person who ended up bringing the lead gets the credit for it. But what I'm saying is, I'm not sure that whoever is head agent versus not head agent on the contract makes it so that the person who got the lead doesn't get credit from Zillow.
I'll look into that a little further. I can just speak from personal experience. The Zillow's not going to connect the sale to you if you're not the lead agent.
I just want to add to that. I mean, Zillow never receives a copy of the RPA, as far as I'm aware, right?
But the lead is received by you. So in Zillow's back end, you're the lead.
Yes. Yeah, that makes sense.
We're going to get the credit for the sale.
I think we're all saying the same thing.
We're going to get the sales volume on your Zillow profile. You'll get so Ilona wouldn't be able to connect the sale, claim the sale on Zillow to her if you were the lead. That's just, but what I'll do for the sake of time and everyone's time in this space, I'll look into that a little bit deeper, and I'll connect with you guys on the back end one-to-one to get some clarity around that. But that's a great question. But either which way it goes, keep crushing it, ladies. Keep crushing it. Dan, are you on the phone? Are you on the call? Dan? Is Dan on the call? Dan must be doing his walkthrough. He tried to connect and then disconnect. So I will cover some of the program updates, and I'm going to go through this really quick. Agent connection planning. Had a meeting with Zillow yesterday. Okay. How many of you guys are receiving your text messages towards the end of the month? I got mine for November on October 25th. Show of hands. Is everyone receiving that agent connection text? It is imperative that you complete that that you respond to that agent connection text. because Zillow is now beginning to base how the leads are routed, the number of leads that are going to be routed to each agent based upon who's responded to that text. Okay, fresh off the press. You respond 0, you can anticipate that your lead flow will be 0. I want to emphasize the importance of that. If you haven't been enrolled into the program for longer than 45 days, or you haven't had your lead routing activated within the last 45 days, it's highly probable that you're not going to receive that text from Zillow. If you do receive the text, I want to encourage you to respond to that text with your projected, forecasted, ideal number of leads or connections that you feel that you can absorb in the upcoming month's basis. Please do that. It came clear from Zillow yesterday. We went through the back end and saw that there are about 3 or 4 agents who had 0 in that forecasted connection column, and you can expect 0 lead flow coming to you in the month of November if that column is left blank. I want to make sure that everyone's clear on that. We've got 187 leads that came to us in the month of October, and there were 4 agents who got very little to no leads because they didn't complete that agent connection or respond to the agent connection text. So if you want your lead flow and you want Zillow to kind of accommodate what you're projecting you can handle in terms of lead flow capacity in the upcoming month, please respond to that text from the agent connection. Everybody cool with that? I've covered that. Second piece is okay. The second piece, there are some changes coming up in the next couple of weeks that we want to talk, some scheduling modifications that we're making internally that are going to have an impact on how we execute our coverage moving forward. Right now, the way the system is set up is we have a pause please channel, and folks can request to be paused and unpaused at their leisure up to this point. That is changing. We are shifting the scheduling from the pause and unpause please channel to weeks, whether it's A week, B week, odd even week, however we want to when we want to title it, what it's going to look like. I'll give you an example. It's 26, 27 people on this call, 28 people on this call. The A week team, it'll be 14 agents whose lead routing, they're committed to their lead routing being active for 7 full days, Sunday to Sunday, Monday to Monday, whatever that 7-day period is, wherever the start date and the finish date is, it'll be Team A, 15 agents, leads on for 7 days. You have to commit to your leads being turned on for the full 7 days. The following week, it will be Team B's turn for their lead routing to be on. Team A will be off. This gives you time to work the leads that you've accumulated in the previous week in your pipeline efficiently, intentionally working those leads. Recap emails, system of services, processes. The following week, Team B will be off. Team A's lead routing will be on. So essentially, when you're committing to this program, you're committing to 2 active weeks a month of lead routing. No questions asked. Sunday to Sunday, you are on. And whatever amount of leads that you accumulate during that 7 days, with the preceding week, you're going to have an opportunity to really work your pipeline, plug them into your proven processes, really engage with the leads in your pipeline while the other team is on, and it'll continue to flip-flop. Did I explain that clearly? Does everyone have an understanding of the direction that we're moving in? If you can't commit to that, I'm going to ask that you tap in with me offline, because that's the direction that we're going. Here's going to be the result of that. Right now we have agents who, once they get 30, 40 leads, 30, 40 connections with 0 conversion, we are automatically pausing you. It's going to prevent that, because how many folks can really give undivided attention to 40 leads while your lead flow is still on? It's highly possible that a lot of those leads are going to fall through the crack. We're going to skip a step in our proven process. We're not going to tap into to hit every sequence in the process if we're bombarded, overloaded, overwhelmed, and consumed with leads. So the shift is going to result in two things: the ability for us to work those leads even more thoroughly. Two, it's going to increase our conversion because we're a lot more intentional with the leads that we have in our pipeline. Does anyone have a question about that? Just want to slide over that real quick. Hearing none, we're going to move right along. Question for you in terms of systems. How many of you guys are using Real Scout? Emoji on the screen. Thumbs up on the screen. Using Real Scout? How many of you have all of your leads input into Follow Up Boss? Here's the $64,000 question. Are all of the leads that you have input into Follow Up Boss, are they actively enrolled into your Real Scout? So if you have 30 leads in Follow Up Boss, do you have 30 clients in Real Scout? If yes, no. If you don't, I want to highly encourage you to. Your client roster in Follow Up Boss should mirror your client roster in Real Scout. And we'll get into the reasons why in the next 2 minutes. So I want to encourage you, if those systems do not mirror each other, that's one of your to-dos for the next week. I'm going to call on someone who said that their systems do mirror each other. Anyone? Now nobody wants to raise their damn hand. I had hella hands up earlier. Whose systems, Gene?
Mine is.
Your systems do. Brett. Okay, we're going to do two things. We're going to use Gene. We're going to use Brett as an example. You know my mantra. You got to show us better than you could tell us. Gene, if you don't mind sharing your screen, pulling up your Real Scout, pulling up your Follow Up Boss, and let's see what that looks like.
Okay. My Follow Up Boss, I'm still undergoing reconstruction. So it's yes.
Okay. We'll start with the Real Scout.
Give me 1 second. Let me pull it up right
Sure.
here.
Brett, you're not going to be able to do that because you mobile, you moving around right now, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
You mean
Advanced.
even the clients you
Free
haven't
connection.
connected with through Zillow in Follow Up Boss and Real Scout too?
Well, if you've got a lead transferred to you, it's automatically integrated into Follow Up Boss through Zillow. So that would be.
So what I have been doing in the past couple weeks was just manually inputting all the buyer leads that just came through online, who have requested showings, and then I'm working through Follow Up Boss to tag them accordingly. It's a monumental task, but what I've also been doing is I hired an assistant. So what they've been doing every single day as their routine task is going to my live feed and look at people who have been opening up the emails I've sent them and click open, and then we will just manually message them via the conversation chat box here. And then she will also make a list of people who have been active in the past week or so and just create a spreadsheet for me, and I will manually personally reach out to them and text them.
Okay. So Gene, just do me one quick favor. Just scroll through that dashboard just quickly. Okay. So she's got 134 lead clients in her Real Scout dashboard. Okay.
I have active 138 this week. Yeah.
138. Out of that 138, there have been 112 homes viewed and 20 emails open today. Okay. This is what I call a winning formula for engagement. You can go ahead and unshare your screen now, Jing. I'm not going to pick on you anymore, I promise.
Okay.
That's what we call a winning formula for engagement. And the reason that I opened up this segment of the conversation with how many of you are using these systems and are these systems mirroring each other is for this exact reason. The subject of what we want to talk about as it revolves around conversion today is how do we re-engage those clients that have ghosted us? if you don't have Real Scout mirroring your follow-up boss, then you're losing on a very critical element that is going to help you re-engage those who are not answering your calls. Because there can be some of those clients in Jean's dashboard that may not be answering her call, but they're damn sure opening the email. They're damn sure looking at properties. It was 112 homes looked at today. She can easily take that information for clients that have been ghosting after being engaged, right? Receive the lead, set the appointment, have our proven process between appointment set and appointment met, have our proven process between appointment met and the next scheduled showing, and then bam, they fall off the grid. Well, if she's got her systems aligned with Real Scout and Follow Up Boss, they may fall off the grid, but she can definitely monitor their search behavior and leverage that as an entry point for re-engagement. So my question now becomes, what winning formula have any of you guys found to be successful to re-engage with clients who have ghosted you? Alona, is that your hand up? Alona? Yes or no? See, no, see or no? See? No?
My hand up was because I have people in my CRM that are part of our farm and people who never expressed wanting to buy a house or selling their house that are part of our farm. So those people don't have Real Scout. And that's just what I was trying to say was it doesn't mirror it because I have different segments in my CRM. So I feel like I would be spamming people in some ways if I just went ahead and threw everybody on there, you know, people who came to my Easter egg hunt.
Agreed. No, agree with you 100%. See, you have but see, the farming, your farming database is completely different than those who you've engaged with, those who you have set an appointment with, those you have met with, or been potentially showing properties, and then have suddenly just fallen off the grid, right? So as it relates to those that we've engaged with, we've received the lead, we've sent them through the process, we've shown some homes, we have a single property touring agreement or a BRBC, and then suddenly they just blown in the wind, and we cannot seem to. They don't answer a text, they don't answer the call, but if we have our systems mirrored, they are damn sure opening those emails and they're looking at homes, which can now turn into an opportunity to re-engage them. And I'm going to show you what that looks like before we leave. But Sierra, you had your hand up. I know you've been waiting patiently. You have a real life case study of most recent where the lead just ghosted you, but there was a proven process. There was a formula that you used to generate re-engagement. If you would be so kind to share that in the group, we would appreciate that. You're muted.
I mentioned last week that I put all of my incoming leads. And I will preface this that I have probably a lot less leads coming in. And so it's easier to do this when you don't have just a ton of leads. But when I have a new lead, they go into Real Scout and then I automatically put them on handpicked, and I put them on handpicked daily. And that enables me to keep top of mind with them, to it really helps my brains to remember this person, what they're interested in. It means that Real Scout's not spamming them with stuff that they might not like. And it helps me to get an understanding of what they actually do want. So I would definitely say that has worked really well with clients. I'm able to, just really hone in on what they like. And I know there's a lot of realtors, they're like, I don't pick houses for people. I don't look at Zillow. I don't do that. I love doing that. And I think that we still can bring a ton of value, not just bringing off market, but finding houses that people like. They like it when we're thinking about us. And if you're just people that aren't engaging with me at all after they've been on handpicked, I take them off. And then they're just on the Real Scout drip, but when they first come in, let's see what you like. Let's engage you. Do you like this bathroom? Does the remodel look good to you? Does it look shitty? What is it about this? And, for this other particular client, I will say that every person is kind of different. For these guys, it was we had a great conversation. Then it was just one thing after another. They're very busy people. And it was just, they weren't getting back to me. There was no time, and so honestly, it was just, at the end of the day, it was just me being available when they needed me, which was, like I only had maybe 4 hours notice, but I was like, I'm going to get my butt over there because they're ready right now. And I know they're probably not going to buy this house, but I need to meet with them in person because I haven't yet. And I know that with these leads, if you don't meet with them in person, they're just kind of gone. There's a good chance that you'll never see them again. So even if that house is pending, even if it's whatever, you try to get your butt over there and meet with them in person.
Absolutely. There's power in human interaction, right? I'm a firm believer in that. If I can meet the lead, it's highly likely that I'm going to lock that lead in just from human interaction. It takes away, when we remove technology and the internet and we put emphasis on human connectivity and interaction, right? Leads love that. When we humanize the relationship, we can humanize the transaction through the interaction. And so the best way to accomplish that is by meeting that lead. I'm absolutely in agreement with you. What we're talking about is how do we re-engage a disengaged lead? Aaron, you had a contribution.
Yeah, it's a question kind of, but at the beginning, what I always did was I put everything into Real Scout and it would just automatically go to Follow Up Boss. And since I've been put with the Zillow group, that's when I started to get more involved in Follow Up Boss. And I noticed that when we get the Zillow leads into Follow Up Boss, it doesn't automatically go over to Real Scout. And so I'm wondering, is there a way to just copy it and export it over there? Or do we always have to manually do it after we talk to the people? And to your point about Real Scout, some of the people I put on beginning that I talked to a little bit, then that constant reminder of their home values or what's going on in the market has triggered some of them to reach back out. So Real Scout is a powerful tool for, I don't even know if they ghosted you, it's just they're not doing anything. And then all of a sudden they see something on Real Scout and it re-engages them. So I do see how it's a powerful tool, but I'm not mirrored because I tend to look for stuff. So if I have clients that are engaged with me, I'm looking in Hayward for what they're looking for. And I'm kind of manually doing it myself now, just not thinking about it, reacting. But I would like to get feedback from everybody on how they're moving their Zillow leads from Follow Up Boss into Real Scout so that they can keep that engagement.
That's good feedback. And if maybe someone has some personal experience, but for me, my experience, they're not integrated. So like Real Scout and Follow Up Boss.
They are. You just have to do hashtag Real Scout.
In terms of the tag?
Hashtag Real Scout, and it will make a Real Scout. Everything that is on Follow Up Boss will go directly into Real Scout and make your client.
That's a learning for me.
Thank you so much. That's it.
Hey, we all learned some shit this morning, huh? Because I sure.
Follow Up Boss is powerful. We just don't know how to use it. We need more schooling from someone who does Follow Up Boss from that company about all the things, because there are tags like hashtag Real Tag. Again, you'll never enter into Real Scout again. Hashtag big letter Real Scout, one word.
Got
and
it. Big
refresh.
letter. Real Scout, one word.
Refresh. And then as soon as you refresh, on the bottom, you'll go all the way on the left side, scroll down, and on the bottom, on the left side, you'll see.
Uh-oh, you just
Follow
froze.
Boss, just click it. And it'll take you to Follow Up Boss.
That's good stuff. And to that point, to your point, Ilona, we had Elizabeth from Follow Up Boss in our space last month. We are intending to have her consistently in our space for continued professional development as it relates to Follow Up Boss, at least every 6 weeks. So I'm working on that now.
The hashtag goes into the tag. You know where the tags are on the left side where you can tag it anything you want so that you can pull it up. So it's hashtag, you like start typing it into the tags right there and it should pop up.
Okay. Thank you for that. Thank you for that, Ilona. Estefania, did that answer your question? Cool. Right on. I saw my partner in crime, Dan, chime in, then he fell off, then he chimed in again, and there he is. Did you have your hand raised, my brother?
I did. I had my hand raised, and Alona answered the question exactly like I was going to say. So thank you, Alona. I also apologize. Apparently they finished building the houses, but they haven't finished building the internet out there. So my connection was not good at this walkthrough.
No problem, brother. We got through it. Of course, always miss your presence and your insight. Do you have something burning that you want to share right now?
I did, yeah.
Go for it.
Aaron said something that kind of made me think of, you know, as you're getting started, you may have the bandwidth to manually search for every client. But I would recommend getting in the habit of putting everyone in Real Scout and doing the automated search. Someone out do the hand pick homes until you know what their criteria are, but then set them on automation. And a reason for that is like you never know, for the people who never engage with you or you just don't get a lot from, who is looking and reading your emails and seeing it, and they're just like, that's just not their personality style to be really engaged. And as a case in point for this, I have a listing that's coming on next week from a client that like I barely heard from. She would message me back maybe once every 3 to 6 months. She hadn't quite ghosted me, but she was like, fading into transparency. And I had her on Real Scout and I had her on all the automations for follow-up. And then she just reached out to me one day and said, hey, I decided instead of buying that I want to sell my house. Can you help with that too? And if it hadn't been for having her on the Real Scout property alerts for just homes to buy, I think I never would have had that opportunity, even though she didn't really show signs of ever really having been a serious buyer. So you never know.
Very true. Thank you for that contribution, Dan. I really appreciate that. I'd like to a little exercise that I have found to be very effective is monitoring my clients' Real Scout home search to learn of their behavior. To Alona's point, taking advantage of what I'm seeing them double tap. Within Real Scout, if your client looks at a property multiple times, it'll tell you how many times they looked at that property. Ted or whomever in my client base looked at this property 5 times. If I see that, I take that information, find the hyperlink to the property, and include it in an email that looks a little bit like this. Feel free. I'm going to share my screen really quick. Can everyone see my screen? Okay, so this is to a client of mine. I don't know, September 24th, but I subject line deals of the week. Okay, knowing this client here, I'm about fed up with this client, but knowing this client here, he is looking for a deal. So I use language that I know is going to generate a click response. He loves deals. So I monitor his home search behavior on Real Scout with properties that he's looked at multiple times, done my research, knowing that he's looking for deals, scrubbed the market and found properties that have had recent price reductions, properties who've been on the market for some time, or properties that he has looked at multiple times within Real Scout, copy these links and create a deals of the week email and highlight and emphasize the deal. This property's had a $50,000 price reduction. This property's had a $10,000 price reduction. Connect the link. Hey, Ted, how was your trip? I'm hoping it was exactly what you and your wife needed. I'm staying connected to the market in Vallejo. Here are some absolute deals out there. Here's a list of them. Where the deal is, the property. Okay, here's his response to that. Where is it? Oh, shoot. Thank you, Vernon. I'll look at these listings tonight. We've just gotten back, super busy weekend, but I'll get back to you on these listings. This attempt at re-engagement for him was extremely effective for me. It ultimately resulted in us getting into contract, and now that's a whole different story in relationship to him, because I just want to slap the spit out of his mouth. Can I say that? The phone is called, this Zoom call is being recorded. I don't think Ted will see it, at least. You think he'll see it? Okay. But it works. It works for re-engagement. It is being recorded, Jing. I know, but Ted is a client of mine who lives in San Francisco, and damn it, if he sees this recording, it's just meant for him to see this damn recording. Anyway, let's get creative. Build your systems out. Make sure that they mirror each other to the best of your ability, because one way to engage or to re-engage, if we've got them set up in Real Scout, is by monitoring their search behavior. I want to encourage you to leverage other outreach strategies and approaches beyond call. How many of us are using video text? Sending a 30-second video, uploading it into Mixmax, including that in the body of your email, sending that. For sure clicks. Those are for sure clicks. How many of us are sending something to the client? What other proven practices or formulas, winning formulas for re-engagement, have you found that works that has not been spoken to? Is it okay to send videos to, hold on, Jing. What the hell is Jing talking about? Oh, Lord. Is it okay to send videos to Mary? Yeah, as long as you're fully dressed in a professional environment and it's above board and hoping that you're not rushing on the client on the slender. Absolutely. You know, if the lead is a female and I've been working with them and they somehow disengaged, absolutely. I'm gonna button up, get in front of my camera. Hey, send a quick check-in, checking in. We just got some deals of the week, check your email, so on and so forth. Or nothing about real estate. Hey, how are you? Is everything okay? We've been communicating up to a point and somehow something fell off. Just want to make sure everything, to let you know I'm thinking about you on a human level, right? That has nothing to do with real estate. Let's get creative and innovative in terms of how you engage to re-engage those who have disengaged. Does that make sense to everyone? Did we get something out of this? Does anyone have any questions, any feedback as we start to close out our session? Anyone have any feedback, insight, input, burning desire? Okay, Ophelia, good to see you. Do we have a FUB training? Do we have a FUB training videos? So hold on, Jane. Let me read your question. Do we have a FUB training video somewhere? I'm gonna connect with Dan on that, but we bring FUB into the space on a regular. So we had them in the space last month, October. We'll have Elizabeth in the space this month in November. We'll also have her in the space next month in December, because there's a continuum of trainings. We started with Smart List that were designed to help us manage and categorize our clients based upon levels of importance and nurture systems short, mid, long term. We will continue that because I'm hearing resounding feedback that we want to be further and deeper immersed into the Follow Up Boss system. So yes, Jing, we are working on that very much so. Listen, go out and win. Make up in your mind that you are a winner in your life, in your relationships, in your health, your mental health, your conversion. We are a championship team, and each one of you guys on this call are winners. Crush your weekend, answer your phone, set your appointment, and go out and convert. If you need me for anything, get at me directly, get at Elias directly, because our responsibility, our commitment is to ensure that we coach champions. Until next Thursday, grace, peace, and blessings. Peace.